Happy Monday. Thank you for joining me for this week's Weekly Wisdom. Now, this is week 3, all about how do we control our chaos. The first week we talked about if everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. The second week we talked about multitasking versus switch tasking. What's the difference and why it's important? Week 3, we are talking about toxic productivity. And I know we've talked about it in the past, but it feels like if we're going into controlling our chaos, we really need to bring this one up again. Now, when we think about toxic productivity is that pushing ourselves to always be doing something, that relentless need for self improvement. You may be thinking to yourself, that kind of sounds like me, but Summer, how do I know if that's me? Well, the first way to know that it's you is if it's harmful. So if on weekends, instead of going out with your family and relaxing, you find yourself putting in one more hour of work, doing one more thing. If it's impacting your personal relationships, when you're going home, your husband, your wife, your kids, they're like, play with me, play with me, play with me. Hey, remember me? If it is harming you and your relationships, that might be toxic productivity. Now, the second way to know is if you have unrealistic expectations for yourself. That by the time I am 25, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to have a house in San Diego, California on the beach. I'm going to be married with 3.2 kids and have the perfect dogs. Are we though? Are we? Or I'm 40 and I haven't done anything that I thought that I was going to do. And now I have to work really, 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 really hard to play catch up with the people that I'm seeing on social media. Unrealistic expectations for what we can do in the time frame that we have. Your story is yours. You are doing it at the exact right pace for you. Don't compare to other people's stories. It's a video for another day, but it's still important. Don't compare your story to somebody else's. And then the third thing that will let you know that you may be falling in the trap of toxic productivity is if you have a hard time relaxing. Meaning you're sitting in the movie theater watching the new Indiana Jones, eating your popcorn, feeling really guilty and running through all of the things that you should be doing. We need to stop shoulding on ourselves as well. We had a whole series about that one too. So if you're laying in bed at night and you're running through everything off of your to-do list that you didn't get done and trying to rearrange it, you're having a really hard time slowing down your brain so that you can focus and relax. If you find yourself at your dinner table constantly checking your phones and your emails, these are 3 ways to know if you're falling in the trap of toxic productivity. And I want to be very clear here. Being super, super unrealistically productive or being lazy aren't the only 2 options. Many times when we fall in that trap of toxic productivity, we feel like it is. We feel like either I'm super productive or I'm lazy. There is no in between. And that's not the case. We can be productive. We can even be lazy. That's okay too. There are some days where I just want to sit on the couch and stare at my phone and I don't want to do anything. Is that lazy? Yeah. Does my brain need it? Yeah. So as you're going through and thinking, it's not either or. We don't have to be uber productive to prove that we're not lazy. What is that middle ground for you? What makes sense to you and your circumstances? And if you're thinking, okay, like I feel you. I may have some problems with toxic productivity. Every morning, start with telling yourself that you are enough exactly as you are. You are enough. You are enough. Say this to yourself. After a while, you'll believe it. When your brain starts chasing its tail, you are enough. Exactly as you are right now. Second piece is to remember that self-care isn't an option. It's not a luxury. It's not something that you earn. Self-care is necessary. You cannot take care of yourself if you are constantly burning. It's impossible. So take these moments to slow down. And then the third thing is create some non-negotiables. Maybe, I don't know, having lunch would be a good non-negotiable, like not working during lunch. We can't always take hour lunches. I get that too. But if you can just take 15 or 20 minutes and focus on what you're doing, on what you're eating, what you're tasting, savor, slow down and enjoy versus wolfing it down as you're going through and responding to all of the alerts. These are just ways to start making an impact on toxic productivity. It doesn't go away overnight. Give yourself grace as you are learning, but be intentional. If our entire world is chaos, it's kind of hard to control it. And when we are running and burning and doing and responding at all times to everybody else's whims, we can't slow down to control our own chaos, to even acknowledge what the chaos is. All right, that is it for this week. I hope you have an absolutely amazing and relaxing week, sending all of the pixie dust that you get those moments of self-care, those moments of relaxing. Don't forget, you got this. I'll see you next week.